Thank you so much for your time today. What I do with these videos is I post them on YouTube, and I post them on YouTube primarily so that they are transcribed.
Mhm.
And it's also a really great reference for me in case I want to supplement my book eventually when it comes out. But I want to learn more about you. I was just listening to an interview of you with young Nisa, and we
Mhm.
were getting to the part where you were talking about where you start off with uh, finding a beat, and that's where your creation process begins. So I want to
Mhm.
talk about your creation process, but before I do so, if I could get a little background on where you went to school, and any of your favorite accomplishments so far.
Yeah, so I went to in elementary, I went to Summerfield. For some reason, I cannot remember the name of the school I went to in sixth grade. I think it's closed now. But then I went to Southwestern, all the way from seventh to 12th grade. And as far as my music accomplishments, I have so many, but the ones that stand out right now, well, I was nominated for Best Female Hip Hop Artist in the Hip Hop Underground Awards show, the Flint Award show. I won Best Female Hip Hop Artist in 2012, I believe, 12 or 13. And then the most recent of accomplishment for me would be having a billboard in New York City, Times Square. That was amazing.
So how did that happen? Getting a billboard in Times Square?
My publicist, he actually is really connected out there and with the billboards and everything. And he said he was gonna help me put it together, and he did. I woke up one day and it was live and it was there, and they sent me pictures and videos. I never had even been to New York yet. So yeah, it was amazing.
So you didn't get a chance to visit yourself in New York City?
I actually did not. I did not. It is
Oh,
crazy. And but I always said to myself, because I've never been to New York yet, and I said whenever I do go, I just feel like it's gonna be something big or something, music related and for some big reason. And that's a great start for me
yeah.
to, but I didn't get to see it myself, but I also had a couple of other billboards. They're digital billboards. So I also had one in Detroit that I got to see for myself. I had one in Philadelphia. So yeah, all of this really is just big to me. I've never had billboards before, so seeing it in person, of course, is even crazier.
Wow, that is amazing to be able
Thank
to see yourself at least a story or two high up in the air.
you.
That's
Yes,
crazy. It's crazy.
yes.
So from the interviews that I've listened to and read, your musical journey began when you were 7, 10 years old.
Hmm. Right.
I know that you credit uh, Queen Latifah, and some other female rappers. Is there anyone locally who you credit? You talk about your dad listening to the Dayton Family. Any local artists that inspired you when you were that young?
When I was that young, I don't know if I knew too much about Flint artists, but for sure MC Breed. My dad definitely was bumping MC Breed, Dayton Family, like I said. Most recently, Mama Soul, growing up, basically once I really started doing music and doing shows and performing, people like Mama Soul actually, although we do completely different type of music and everything, just her being such a strong woman, and she's just a huge inspiration. So yeah, Mama Soul, John Connor, and that's someone who actually helped me get to where I am today. So yeah, definitely.
So I had an opportunity, was so lucky to be able to interview Mama Soul and John Connor. How would you you mentioned that Mama Soul's music is very different than yours.
Mhm.
Can you describe your music then?
My music, well, Mama Soul is more, I would say, motivational, inspirational, but also the type of beats I'm really, really more rap and hip hop. So you're getting a different style and production. You're getting a completely different flow and everything. And I may talk about some of the same things, but the words are different. The way that I express myself is different.
So can you unpack that a little bit? How do you express yourself if somebody were to have not seen any of your work? Like how would you describe that to someone?
Well, when I say express myself differently, and as far as the words I use, I really mean the best way that I could put it, where people could understand, is street. You know, this coming from Flint, Michigan, and being brought up in the streets and around certain things and seeing certain things in my environment, um, just so many things. Those are the things that I talk about. So yeah.
So I talked to Xavier Simon as well, and
Hmm.
he listed you as one of his top 10 favorite rappers, and really a
Wow.
representation of like Flint 2.0, this next generation of rappers.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so, so how do you feel about that? And uh, how do you see the Flint rap scene right now?
Well, first and foremost, I'm so thankful that he mentioned me, and that it's I'm honored to be one of his top 10 or top rappers from Flint. That's an amazing thing. That makes me feel good. That's what I do it for. Especially for him to be a man. I spoke to him recently. Actually, I had an interview with him, and one of the things that we discussed is how hard it is being a female artist and getting men to listen to you, and not just women. And I told him that's one of the things that ever since I was a kid, when I was a kid writing music, even back then, it was that way. With the boys not taking the girl serious and everything, all the way up into being a woman now. It's always been a goal of mine to make music and deliver music in such a way that men can take me serious and want to listen to me and not be ashamed to listen to me and be blasting my music right down the street and everything. And then as far as the the music scene in Flint right now, it's like better than it's ever been as far as what I know. As far as my generation and my time, because Dayton Family, MC Breed, and all of them, they were kind of before me, and I know it was crazy back then. It was huge back then. And then there was this big gap where Flint artists weren't, reaching a certain level of success or being mentioned or um, acknowledged and things like that up until the last couple of years. Besides, John Connor was huge when he signed to Dr. Dre and Aftermath, of course, but still they never released his album and everything. So these last couple of years, and really more so 2020, is when everything started to take back off again. And it's just amazing to be a part of it, and for Flint to be mentioned for things other than the water. A lot of people still only knew, like, I travel a lot, and when I travel and I mention Flint, for a while, people didn't even know what Flint is. They would just be like, oh, what's Flint? I would say Michigan. They'd be like, oh, Detroit. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not Detroit. It's Flint. So now with music, oh, and then after that, it was the water crisis. When you mention Flint, they're like, oh, they got the bad water, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, yeah, but that's not all we have. So now music, the athletes, people like Clarissa Shields, all of the NBA players, NFL players. It's just amazing to see. Not like I said, not even just music, but for us to be acknowledged and represented in different ways now, and people knowing about Flint for more than just the bad water. So right now, I am very, very proud of where the hip hop scene is right now. We're actually creating like a whole new sound that the industry is starting to mock. Like some of everywhere, it's this sound that Flint created, and I don't know. I feel like we've always done it. We've always had our own style and sound, and it's just now starting to get out there and spread through. It started with um, as far as last year through a producer, and this certain sound that we've been pushing out with the rapping straight through beats, with no hook and everything, and that's just taken off. It pretty much went viral after Y&J and Louis Ray released the song, that caught TikTok. It caught and just went crazy on TikTok and went viral on social media and everything. And then after that, people started checking out more and more Flint artists. And like I said, this sound, now we have industry artists mimicking and trying to take this sound or reaching out to different artists and producers from Flint. So it's really, we're in a very, very good space right now.
So when you mentioned that things kind of blew up in 2020, was it that Y&J song? Is that what ignited the Flint hip hop scene?
Yeah, before, I would say Rio the Young OG was the first one doing numbers that no other Flint artist has ever done before. So it was Rio the Young OG. And it's funny because he was actually on house arrest while he was going viral and blowing up. And then he pretty much co-signed because Louis Ray is his brother. And yeah, Y&J, they're all like family and everything. But yeah, after they dropped that song, that's when it really just, I think that song's like at 30 million views on TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, but YouTube. And that's just YouTube alone. You have the other streaming platforms and TikTok, like I mentioned, and this just, so then more, they all work together. So together they kind of just really are doing amazing. But yeah, I would say, so Rio the Young OG, going viral and doing numbers that no other Flint artist had ever done before. And then once that Y&J and Louis Ray song caught and went viral, that was it.
So back into the reason I contacted you is because I wanted to tap on a little bit about flow and what you think of as flow. So when you hear that word, what comes to mind?
I immediately think about how you flow on a beat, how an artist, their cadences, and everything, their delivery is what flow means to me.
So can you give me an example of one of your songs where you really liked your flow?
I like my flow on everything because I flow very differently than any other artist. And that's locally and in the industry. I don't even know how. I've always flowed different. I flow, so most of the time I'll pick a beat, right? And then the way that the drums and everything are set up on that beat, I might catch and rap to the drums. I might rap to the can't think of what it's called, but basically like the harmonies and different things. Like I like to get on a beat and flow differently than what you would expect. So with a beat, there's usually a 4 count. I'll usually start in an awkward spot or flow, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you're not going to expect it. But one song that I can mention, like I said, every song my flow is just different and crazy. But there's a song that I have out with called Too Real with another female artist, Nisha Shay. I really love how we flowed on that beat and on that song, because we're two completely different type of artists. She raps and she sings, but we got together and I just really liked how we complemented each other's flow on that record. And just the fact that we're able to just go back and forth like we did, I think that was really, really dope.
So how does that collaboration develop? Did you hear her rapping and you wanted to meet, or how did that go?
So she's been a friend of mine for a very long time. I think she came out when she was about 16 years old or something like that. So I'm a few years older than her. She's from Ypsilanti, but she represents Detroit and everything. And I actually went to school out in that way in Ypsilanti and stuff. So we basically worked with some of a lot of the same engineers and producers and stuff like that. So I had been friends with her for a while and always wanted to work with her. I just never, basically everything happens when it's supposed to. And with that, during that time, when we recorded that song in 2020, it was her birthday. Her birthday was coming up, and we were going to Miami together to celebrate her birthday, which we did. So before we went, I hit her up and was like, it'd be cool if we, did a little something, got a little record together, and then shot a video while we were out there in Miami. So that's what happened. She agreed to it. I met her out at Studio 3525 in Southfield, and I picked the beat. She came, and we just literally freestyled it right there in that moment. And then we did shoot the video in Miami, and that's out on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it is, woo, it is hot.
Thank you.
So beautiful, beautiful job. One of the things I want to investigate too in this book is like what are the conditions that lead to that mental flow or that emotional flow where things are so perfect and things work and things get done. So can you talk a little bit about any of the environmental or emotional, I guess, spaces that have to be in place for you to reach that mental flow?
Yeah. So with mental flow, to me, is definitely just like being in the zone where you just zone out on stuff and nothing else matters in that moment. And in order for that to happen, for me personally, you can't force anything. You have to let all things happen organically. And that's how music is made, especially for me. You just have to, whatever you're feeling in that moment, when you are in the studio or you are creating, that's what you should release. That's what you should let out, because those feelings are there at that moment for a reason. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, pretty much just go on with everything. You really cannot force anything. And that's another thing that I learned from John Connor too, is just there will be times, there's times where we'll show up to the studio, and if we feel like we have to think too hard and force it, we'll just call it a day. Let's just chill, because and sometimes even those moments are meant. You don't have to record every single time you're in the studio. Sometimes you need the vibes. Sometimes you just need to have conversations. Sometimes you need to just have fun, because what's going to happen is the next time you go, you have all of those moments and those little memories that you created where you can put those in a song. You know what I mean? So it's really just all about letting whatever is supposed to happen.
So when do you know when a song is done?
For me, a song is done after I listen to it 1,000 times and cannot find one thing that I need to change. And I don't like rushing with releasing my music either. I'm a little different when it comes to that. Some people, they just, it's done, and they'd be so excited about recording something in 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and it's like, okay, that's cool, and I can do that. I do it all the time, but I just really like to go back and listen to my music as many times as I can. Or sometimes when you really have a hit record, you can let it get a year old. You can let it really get old, and if you can go back and listen to that song 6 months or a year later and it's still a very good song, that's a hit record. Or that you have something really, really dope. But yeah, a song for me isn't done until I listen to it quite a few times and don't find anything that I need to change. But yeah, I do like to sit on songs for a little while for that reason, because once it's out, it's out. You can't change anything, But most of the time you can really just feel it. You can just feel like, okay, this is it.
So my last question is, I know you haven't given me your top 10 list yet, but could you talk a little bit about who you think may be on your top 10 favorite rappers from Flint list?
Yeah, I can give you a list now. I hate to do lists because I'm one of those people. I pretty much support everybody and rock with everybody, and especially with Flint being the type of city that it is. A lot of people have the crab in the barrel mentality, and I'm trying to break that. Me and a couple of a lot of other artists are. We're trying to work together more. So I don't really like to divide and everything, but there are some artists that I truly do listen to a lot, and they are amazing to me. I've been in the studio with some of these artists, and I just see how they work and how creative they are, and it just blows my mind. So I definitely have to give credit, but I would say myself. King Cassius. King Cassius, ever since we were in high school, we actually went to high school together. He's just lyrically always been amazing to me. John Connor, most definitely. When I got around him, first of all, I'm hearing his music is like, dang, he can really rap. And then actually being in the studio with him and seeing his process and seeing how he does not write anything blew my mind. He does not write, he just goes. And he's, like I said, he taught me a lot. It helped me with my process with just going with the flow and letting the words come by themselves, not forcing stuff, not overthinking stuff. Ace Cabana, I work with Ace Cabana as well, and he's so young and so talented, and I don't know where he comes from. His mind is just like on a whole nother level. The things that he think about, like I said, just blows my mind. Illa the greatest. Illa has not released a lot of music. He had a song that was one of Flint's biggest songs in the clubs and everything a few years ago, but he never really released any projects. But that's someone I also that helps me out with working. It helps me record, helps me create, come up with ideas and everything. So and he's someone that I also that can freestyle like nobody else. He could probably beat some of everybody in the freestyle. Daytwan Love, I actually started listening to him in 2020. He's a singer rapper as well, and the things that he talk about and the way the flow, the like you said, the flow, his flow is so different. And I also collaborated with him recently. That's something that'll be coming out soon. We're shooting a video next week, I believe, but that's someone that's really dope. Belly Beretta is like the he speaks for the streets. A lot of people that come from the streets and have been in, certain situations in jail, or family has went through this, that, and the other. That's the voice of the streets for Flint for me, I think. Belly Barrella is really dope. Jeff Sky is so amazing, especially with his visuals. I've never seen anybody like him. Such a humble, cool dude. He's helped me out with coming up with video concepts and ideas, and I love his music as well. It's very laid back and cool and chill, and I like that. He doesn't change. He doesn't really, that's who he is, that you're gonna always get that real cool vibe from him, and that's needed. Vice Carter has not released much music recently, but I think he had like 13 tapes or something. And I met him, I think I actually went to school with him, but I didn't know him back then. But I met him through John Connor as well. John Connor mentored a lot of Flint artists. Me, Ace Cabana, not Belly Beretta, but Vice Carter. So me, Ace Cabana, Vice Carter, and many more. He mentored, so I was around Vice Carter a lot, and also that's someone that the words that he used, his wordplay is so crazy. The things that he come up with blows my mind as well. He's definitely a very, very good writer, and he can freestyle as well. I actually was in a studio before and saw him and John Connor go back and forth, just tossing words, and neither one of them stopped. They could just keep going. Gunhood Zeke is definitely amazing with the wordplay as well. And then I would like to do an honorary mention, Cassius the Gerber Boy. He's no longer with us. He was killed this year, actually, right after my birthday, I believe. But he was a battle rapper. And that was the first battle rapper that I had ever seen in Flint, Michigan. I didn't even know we did battle rap in Flint. I know it was more of an East Coast thing. So he kind of brought that to Flint, and he actually hosted a rap battle league. I think it was I can't remember exactly what it was called, but he hosted a rap battle league, and then that caused other rappers like Gun Hood Zeke to get into battle rap, something that he had never done before, along with other female battle rappers. And so, yeah, I definitely would have to mention him for sure, and rest in paradise for him.
So have you participated in a battle rap, or would you like to?
No. Battle rap, that's a whole nother league, a whole nother ball game. You definitely have to have a lot of patience, um, time. The prepping is crazy, the creativity, and it's just like a more so the patience. I can't. They are in each other's faces. It's like no limits. They can say whatever, and it's just like I don't have that in me. So I definitely salute anybody that can do that, because it's not for me. But I definitely appreciate the culture. I love it. I actually love to go to and watch battle rappers or watch them on TV as well. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely interesting. You never know what the artists are gonna say, what they're gonna do. The little, yeah, it's crazy.
Has there been a battle rap in Flint recently?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cassius the Gerber Boy was actually the first one to bring battle rap to Flint. There was
Oh,
never that I know of.
okay.
Now in the past, before him, I can't say, or I was too young, or wasn't. I was too young. But from my understanding, or from what I can remember, he was the first one to bring battle rap, and he hosted a league. And anybody that he thought could even do it, he would call them out, or he would give people the opportunity to. And yeah, the different people would go against each other from Flint or surrounding areas, from like Detroit, Saginaw, Pontiac, all these different cities, Lansing, and even outside of oh, and another good battle rapper is Anubis. Him and Cassius are the best battle rappers from Flint to me, and then now Gun Hood Zeke. But yeah, they Anubis still does it, Zeke still does it, and they are great at what they do. But yeah, Cassius was the first one to bring the actual rap battle to where, like I said, it was full blown events where they had card girls, and the whole card on who's going against who, the main headlines and everything. And I don't know how recent the last one was, but I definitely attended quite a few of them over the last maybe 5-10 years.
Okay, I need to look into that because I didn't know that.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
scene, yeah, had a battle rap in the last few years, so that's really
yeah,
great information. And I want to also get in touch with all of these people who you mentioned,
yeah,
whom I haven't
definitely.
interviewed except for John Connor, but
Yeah,
no,
especially because they have completely different things to talk about. Battle, like I said, battle rap is a whole nother ball game. So they can definitely express that and share that with you, because I have no idea what it's like to be a battle rapper. I know I like to watch it.
yeah. Wow, it is crazy skill to be
Yeah.
able to think on your feet and immediately like that. That's incredible. But I want to thank you so
Right.
much for your time. Is there anything about flow, musical or psychological flows that you want to mention? Anything that we missed?
Let me see. I was trying to look over what you sent. Um, I mean, yeah, I think we pretty much went over everything. You mentioned, how I make music and everything, how it starts. With me is really not a certain way at all. There's times where, like I said, I just let everything happen organically. There's times where I would write songs first and then go and get beats to match those that would match those lyrics or match how I wanted to flow. Or there's times where I will find a beat first, then write to that beat. And most recently, honestly, over the last year, I do not write much at all either. What I do is I get, in the studio, and in that moment, I'll go through and pick beats. Or if there's some beats that I have in mind, I listen to them a couple of times, and then I just get in the studio and I just punch. And that's something too that's really, I almost feel like for this generation, Flint artists started it. We call it punching. So you will hear, if you watch interviews from other Flint artists, like the ones that are out right now that's went viral that I mentioned and stuff like that, you'll hear them saying punching, or they even have mixtapes and stuff with those words in it, like punching and stuff like that. Because what punching is when you punch in and out and record. So you don't write. There's no need to write, because it's the same thing when you have a access to a studio where you can be on that time where somebody has the time to just sit there. But a lot of artists now, like I said, the artists that are growing right now, and a lot of us, that's what we do. We punch. So we don't even really write too much anymore. We just get in front of the mic and then just go and let it flow, and we'll just punch in and out. And yeah, it's cool. It's something I would it's crazy because I've always done it. But now I have my own studio and equipment and everything. So with me being on my own time and not having to be on anybody else's or feeling like I'm being rushed or anything, that's how I've made my last, I don't know how many songs. I just sit in front of the mic. I'll play the beat a couple of times, and then I'll just go. Or sometimes I'll do a reference. And with the reference, what I'll do is basically it's where you set up how you think you want the song to sound. So you just get in and you start harmonizing, or your cadences, the way you'll rap on a certain part, and then you go back and you add the words to match that cadence or that flow. So yeah, it's like a lot of us don't even really write anymore. We punch.
Yeah. So who coined that term, punch? Was it John Connor, or was it?
I don't know. Well, like I said, for years, I always punched in and out. And I don't know where that came from, but basically with this new technology and recording and everything, it's not like how it was back in the day where if you mess up, you kind of got to start all the way back over. So what punching is basically just when you say however many bars you want to, and then you'll stop and you go back and you punch in wherever you stop. So that's what it is. So it's punching in and out. And I've been doing that since forever. But like I said, now it's just become a bigger thing. And then also we aren't really writing so much anymore, because it's kind of the same thing. What you would write down on a piece of paper, you just say it now. And technology is just so advanced. So that's just what we do. I don't know who created the term punch, but I know in Flint, Michigan, we are punchers.
So could I say that is a Flint style?
Yes, punching is a Flint style. I actually want that to be known.
Okay.
Because it is a lot of us that when we collaborate with each other, that's what we do. We get in the studio and punch. You got some artists that can just go and do it all in one take, but with pronunciation, it's kind of hard. When you want to pronounce your words right, you're getting everything out when you punch. And so it makes things a lot easier. And you can, like I said, you can hear everything. You can pronounce your words all the way out instead of rushing anything and trying to hurry up and get it all in one breath. Take your time and you just punch in and out. It makes everything flow a certain way. And that's why Flint has this sound and this flow that's different than it was even in the 80s, the 90s, 2000s. It's different because the flow is, set up a different way now. It's like we kind of working with technology.
I feel
and just figured out a way to make it all easier. Yeah.
I feel like I just discovered something that super deep. So I thank you. Had no idea about punching. So wow, okay, you just like blow things up for me. So thank you so much, Jada, for all of this information. And really it's like, oh wow, okay, I've got so many people to investigate. But no, this phenomenon of punching is fascinating. So
yeah. And it's funny because back a couple years ago, when I was rapping, it was kind of a secret. I didn't want people to know, and others too. And I would hear certain artists do it, like say for example, Young Jeezy. That's somebody I could think of that did it often because he had a different way of flowing. And 5 years ago, my flow was different than it is now. And what he would do is he would drag his words and pronounce them, that and Gucci Man too, the yeah, or they, it was a way that they can say one line or one word and immediately another can come in. And if you're doing that all in one breath, it's impossible. You can't say, you know what I mean? You can't finish one sentence without taking a breath. But when you're punching in, you can finish a sentence, and before that sentence is completely done, another one is coming right in. And so now, like I said, it's become a thing in Flint where that's what everybody is doing, and that's how the style has changed. So another thing you asked was how the styles and the flow was different compared to the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And right now it's just so everything's like fast paced, boom, 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 the bounce, everything is just fast. And to keep up with that, you have to punch or it's not going to sound right. And that's why Flint flow is different than everybody else, every other region, not even just Flint, Detroit too. So I have to say this region because even Chicago, they do it. They have the drill music, the fast and the rapping. It's like nonstop, not giving the beat a break. And we do that real, and it's just becoming a big thing now. But yeah, that's why we were able to do it because we're punching. And so it sounds good, but everybody's not good at punching either. It is an art. It's definitely an art to punch it. And I might make that a song or something. That might be a song title or a mixtape or album title, The Art of Punching, because it definitely, you have to know what you're doing. And it takes time and practice, but I've been doing it for years. I think I'm one of the best female punchers from Flint, honestly, as well. And it's just like I said, with making it all sound good, to where you can't even tell that the words and the lines, they blend in so good together. You're punching in exactly where you're supposed to where people can't even tell. That's why it was a secret for so long. But now a lot of other artists have been letting people know what they're doing. So it's like, hey, it's fun.
Yeah, when I listen to your music, I'm going to have like a much more informed ear.
Yeah.
Because I know that's what's going on, but I feel like, oh, so enlightened because you let me in on this secret that I haven't heard before. But so my goodness.
Yeah, literally everything. Like I said, if you listen to the song with me and Nisha and Shay, we're it's like people probably like, dang, how's she coming in right after her? How's she coming in right? They're going back and forth. And then I have songs with another Flint artist, female artist that I started working with, Hood No Rat. We have a couple of songs together where we're going back and forth like that too. And yeah, that's how, is because we have that, like I said, our region up north coast, that's what we're doing. It makes our flow so different. It's so fun doing it too, because you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to think too hard. You don't have to think too hard. That's why people love it, because it's fun. It sounds fun, and it is fun when creating like that too, because like I said, it's all just happening naturally, and just everything just flows.
So Jada, I could sit here and learn from you for much longer, but I gotta go. Yeah. So thank you so much for this time.
No problem.
Yeah, and
no problem at all.
Yeah, we will keep in touch. Yes, I appreciate you. So yes, I'll keep in touch, and I'll see you later. And hello to the beautiful person behind you. So
oh, my brother, he's trying to get his face in so hard. This is cool boy Jaden. But thank you so much for having me, and anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime you need me, I'm here. Any questions you have, just hit me up.
All right, I will.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.